We're here with Lawrence Okoye. Tell me, Lawrence, you are an Olympian who is now trying out for the NFL. Where did this idea come from to try out for football?
I think it's been in the back of my mind for a long time, since I was really quite young, since I was in my teens. And after the Olympics, I had to review everything about whether I was going to go to school, go to Oxford, or carry on throwing discus, or maybe going back to rugby. And in the back of my head, I had the plan of playing in the NFL. And I think from what I've read recently, I think people seem to think it's a decision that's happened overnight. I just woke up one morning and decided I wanted to play in the league, but it's been a very deliberate and long process. I spent a lot of time thinking about it, and it's just something I've always wanted to do, to be honest. And I'm the kind of person that if I want to do something, I'm just going to go out and do it, despite, people may say I'm delusional, I'm silly, but the people that know me don't say that because they know what I'm capable of. My coach back home would understand, and the people here would understand, and the people that have seen my athletic ability will understand, and even the coaches that have seen me so far in the league, they now understand why I've decided to do this. And I hope that everyone in the country will eventually see the talents I have and hopefully understand why I've chosen to play NFL.
You said you've been thinking about it for a long time. How long have you been thinking about it?
It's been on and off for years, really. Like when I was in school, my friends used to tell me, Lawrence, why are you here? You should go to the States, And I could have easily have got a scholarship at a school and learnt that way. And that probably would have been obviously a much easier and safer route into the league. But the call of the London Olympics was too strong for me. I had to go for it, even though back then I was in no position to say I could make it. There was what I did throwing the discus is probably quite similar to what I'm trying to do now, because I came from nowhere to be ranked 5th in the world. It's the same principle now when it comes to American football.
What held you back from, when you were thinking about it as a teenager or years from trying to play football, what held you back from actually going and doing it?
I don't know. I just didn't know the process. I didn't know. I was a bit naive. I didn't have anyone really, telling me exactly what would have to be done. It was more my friends and just more thick thoughts in the back of my mind, as opposed to, older, wiser people telling me this is something you should probably think about. But, that's life, and I don't regret anything. I'm happy that I went to the Olympics and I did my best.
Right.
And I achieved something special in those 2 years that I was training for the discus. But now I feel like I can achieve something even just as special, or maybe even more special in this league if I go to play to my potential.
I went to the Olympics. You trained for the discus, as you just said, for 2 years, but you also played rugby.
Yeah. So when I was in school, I had the rugby call as well. That was another reason why I wasn't too sure about American football. So I played rugby from the age of 12 to 18, and I wasn't bad at all. I was having fun running guys over. So I guess I have things in the back of my mind about maybe I should have stuck with rugby, but like I say, I think everything's happened for a reason, and I think I'm in this position now for a reason, and I think this is going to work out.
What was your first introduction to football?
Well, I watch it on TV. I watch it on Sky Sports back home. They play like 3 games every Sunday and like 2 games every Saturday. So I watch a lot of that stuff. But when I came out here, this was my first time of actually training with other football guys and doing one-on-ones and doing some drills, some bag drills and stuff. And I've picked it up really quickly. I think obviously I'm a bright guy, and I learn skills quickly, which has been proven by my discus throwing, which is obviously a very technical sport. And I think I'm going to do the same thing in this sport, because in the short while that I've been here, I've gone from 0 to a decent level. And when I get to the right team and the right coaches put the right influences on me, I'm sure that I can go to a much higher level.
How does football to you compare to rugby?
Rugby, you have more responsibilities in the sense that you don't play offense and defense, you play everything. But I think football is more specific. So if your talents are to do a specific thing, football allows you to use those talents in a specific way. So if you're a good runner, you're going to run the ball. You're not going to go and tackle guys, or like in rugby, you'd have to tackle and run. Or if you're good at tackling, you're not going to go and run with the ball, because you're going to be out there trying to tackle guys. So I think it's great. So if you've got a specific talent, I think football's great for you. And I think my physical abilities, my power, my strength and my speed allows me to, just use that constantly, as opposed to having to worry about aerobic fitness, running around the pitch.
I was in London I must have been 12 years old, and a young chap came up to me and told me that rugby is much tougher than American football. What do you think?
I think American football's more dangerous because you can be blindsided at any time. You're running after somebody, someone can come from anywhere and take your knees out. Whereas in rugby, you can see who's coming for you. If you have the ball, you can be tackled. If you don't, then you can't. So in that sense, I think American football's more dangerous. But to be honest, I think the NFL is doing a good job of trying to make things safer,
Right.
and the IRB are doing the same thing in rugby. And I think injuries are always going to happen, but I think they're pretty similar in regards to danger.
You understand how difficult this is, trying to make this jump. Have you been discouraged by anybody talking to you or that try to slow you down from this pursuit and this dream?
I think from the early reviews I've seen from the general public, everyone's really positive. I think that people back home are really positive because they know what my athletic ability is like. But whereas people back here, people in the States are slightly more hesitant, like, oh, who's this guy? Who's he think? I know a lot of people have tried to do this. Someone like Brock Lesnar, who's famous for his physical prowess. He didn't get out of training camp in Minnesota, so these things can definitely go wrong. But I'm not the kind of person that gets discouraged from what other people say. I know what I'm capable of, and I know with the right work that I can become one of the best defensive ends this league has seen. But it's going to be a long process. I'm not foolish enough to think I'm going to walk into the starting lineup on the first weekend and the season starts. So it's very unlikely to happen. There's a good chance I'll play practice squad. Maybe there isn't. Who knows? Maybe I'll make a roster. Maybe I won't. But I do know that if a team puts the effort in and matches the effort I'm going to put in, that the results, the dividends they get will be great, and they're going to produce a player that's going to blow up players in the league.
How is your workouts going specific to the training that you need to be a defensive end?
Yeah, I've had to do a lot of stuff with the combine, obviously, just to make sure I can do the 5-10-5 and the 3-cone drill well. But now that we're getting closer to Dallas, and I'm looking past that and looking towards minicamp. We're doing a lot more D-line stuff, which is more specific to obviously to what I need to do, and I'm enjoying that because that's the stuff I'm going to have to do in the league, and I have to adapt well to it. And I think it's suiting me pretty well, to be honest. Things are, I'm learning how to flip my hips. I'm learning how to get on the line. I get down properly. I'm looking forward to getting together with one of the league's coaches and really taking it into the next level.
I've always said if we put 15, 16 guys, the best American football players, and took them and taught them rugby, yeah. I think they'd be pretty good anywhere.
It'd be pretty damn good, but there's a few positions I don't think. I think he'd do pretty well.
Yeah.
I can't argue with that, to be honest. Yeah.
Talk to me about the culture of sports, the differences between the United States and UK.
I think in the UK, the major sport is obviously football or soccer, and that dominates everything. Whereas in the States, there's such a wide breadth of sports. I think the three major sports, basketball, football, and baseball, I think are enjoyed throughout the country. I think on near an even level. Maybe football's the most popular, but you can say with much certainty that a lot of people like all three. Whereas back home, football is definitely the dominant sport, and other sports play second fiddle. But the sporting culture is similar. Like, everyone in Britain wants to do well. They love to see the national team do well. And it's the same pride in the US. It's a shame that the US sports, they can't really demonstrate what they can do on the worldwide stage. There's no country that can compete with the Americans in American football, which is a shame. But like I say, I think both countries are passionate about sport, and here I think they're probably even more passionate than anywhere else.
Right. How long have you been training now in your pursuit to try to make it to the NFL?
I'm training for about 6 weeks now. And like I say, when I started, I started from scratch, and things were tough, and I was breathing heavy and going through the ladders. The condition wasn't quite there, and I've learned a lot of skills, a lot of the basic skills for a D lineman. Tell
me, what players have you been watching that you see yourself playing that position, or maybe want to model your game after?
JJ Watt is the most impressive defensive end I've seen in the league so far. Obviously, 20.5 sacks last year. He was unbelievably impressive. You can line up anywhere on the line and make an impact and make plays constantly. And the combination he has of size and strength and speed and, you know, lateral movement is great. And I'm hoping to hopefully surpass him one day. But if I get close to his standard, I'll also be very pleased.
I know you're training for right now for the NFL and different combines and workouts, and everybody wants to know, regardless of your position, especially a guy your size, 6'6", over 300 pounds, how fast are you going to run the 40?
Yeah, I have to say that my 40 time is looking pretty good. As an 18-year-old, I actually ran 10.95 in the 100 meters, so I've got a good background in speed. And now that I'm at my weight, I'm still, you know, I'm actually more powerful now than I was when I was 18. And I've run very quick times here, 4-5 times at my training facility here in Hiram. And I'm hoping to, you know, do something pretty special in Dallas.
Physically impressive, 6'6", again, over 300 pounds, a very versatile athlete, rugby, the Olympics, and then obviously your intelligence. Why does an NFL team want to pick you up? Not just the physical, but everything else that you could bring to a table. What makes you a guy that they want to bring into training camps?
I think if a team were to take me, I think they'd find that they have something they can really grow. I think the ceiling with me is, there's no ceiling, to be honest, with where I could go. And if a team, you know, looks at this mission properly and sees the dividends they can get out from working with someone like me and producing, you know, the talent that I know I have and putting it out there on the field, then the league's going to get a very special player.